Are y'all familiar with self concept? Are y'all aware of how you view yourself? Are you aware that it isn't really your actions that make up your life and who you are? More so, it is how you view yourself taking those actions, how you view yourself fitting into the world, what the concept of self is, right? This is simply the simple implication that as you feel of yourself, so you are. As you feel of yourself, so you are. Now, this might go over some of your heads, don't let it. But here's the idea, here's the fact of life. We all, a lot of times, we make decisions based off of, well, ultimately who we are, once again, or who we think we are. But most of us don't believe that it's up to us to determine that. Most of us just fall into the trap of emotionally reacting and allowing those emotional reactions to shape who we truly view ourselves as. Such as when we make a mistake, and that mistake weighs on our mind for a long period of time. We've all been there. We've all had this seeking into our subconscious mind that holds us back for a long time, for sometimes a lifetime. I know I had a feeling, many of these feelings earlier on, that held me back from being my true self, that held me back from expressing myself in a true way, simply because my emotional reaction at a different state in time to a situation caused me to believe that my self-concept was only so much, only this, only that. I wasn't capable of that. What do you mean? I didn't have the awareness then to take a real step back and realize what I was doing to myself. I just acted from my self-concept. I acted from what I knew. From what I knew. You see, we all believe what we know. That means what we know to be true. What we know to be true, what we've experienced to our own degree. That's what we typically believe. We fall victim to our own selves. We fall out of the understanding that we can choose to believe something outside of what we've experienced subconsciously or what we've experienced consciously, right? Now, it's a different story when it comes to taking what you believe or consciously and making it part of the subconscious, right? That takes time. It's not just a once kind of thing, right? But my point of what I'm talking about here is what you experience consistently, meaning what your perception makes true, what your perception tells you about what you're going through, that is what will persist. That is what you will continue to manifest in your life. You see, because creation's already finished. Creation is already finished, and these different realities of yourself and of everything are out there. Might be getting a little esoteric there, but my real point is, if you're not going to go down that rabbit hole, which we can a different day, if you're not going to go down that rabbit hole, is to understand the basic concept of self. Something is sort of a self-fulfilling prophecy, meaning as you believe of yourself is what you will be. This can be very hard to understand and accept, most often because if we don't like where we're at, we don't like the situation we've created, truly, we feel bad about it. We feel a lot of negative emotion. So to say and to understand that these negative emotions, this negative state, this negative place of being that I am in and have persisted in, to understand and accept that that's my fault, well, that's not something that most people want to do. It's not something that most people want to take responsibility for. But you can. And if you want to live a life you're choosing, you will. If you want to live a life of fulfillment, you will. If you want to be mature and actually, again, have control of your life, you'll make the hard decision to accept reality for what it is. Even if there's many different inclinations that it's not your fault. Like, it's not your fault that you had these terrible set of parents, or you had this terrible upbringing, you had this messed up situation that happened. It's still your problem. Your reaction to it is still your problem. You have trust issues because of that bad relationship. You have trust issues because of your relationship with your father. You have whatever issue it is from your childhood and your upbringing. It may not be your fault, but it is your problem. And if you can't choose to accept that as the reality that it is, you'll likely never make a change of it. How do I put this? You'll dig trenches around where the hole is, right? Like you'll consistently try and dig up this issue or try and fix what this issue is causing. That's the way to put it. You'll consistently try and fix everything that this issue is causing in your life rather than fixing the issue. It's a Band-Aid solution. You don't want to live like that. You don't want to live. In fact, you don't want to continue to live like that. You're not happy with where you're at, maybe because, again, you keep trying to fix these symptoms when it's the major issue that's causing it. It's your inability to accept that your own reaction to any given situation is what will continue to persist in you. Your own reaction is what will continue to persist in you, in your life, in your self-concept. This may take some deep diving to understand and uncover and to understand what it looks like for you. But there's no work that's more important, my man. There's no work that's more important. But oftentimes we fall into the trap. We fall into the trap of just whatever. I'll avoid the emotions because they're not pretty. This is more fun. This is more enjoyable. How much ownership are you truly taking for your life? Ask yourself the question. Understand where exactly you are and why you're there, and take that responsibility. That responsibility to be different, to be a different person, to actually choose and know what you stand for. Because here's the biggest thing. Life is full of challenges. And when you don't know who you are, meaning your self-concept isn't chosen, it's subconsciously chosen, it's emotionally chosen, it's not something that you built yourself, you're going to go through issues and challenges that really break you down. And oftentimes we continue to fall down that deep, steep hole of emotional reaction, of pain, of self-pity, of victimization, which then pushes us further and further away from taking responsibility for everything that is us, to which then continues to manifest these negative realities that we don't agree with and we don't want to be a part of. It all starts with you, my friend. It all starts internally. It all starts with your ability to accept responsibility optimistically. Realistically, but optimistically. And then throw some delusional in there, because you want to be delusional about the fact that you can change what has always been, or what feels has always been. I don't care if you're 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 fucking years old. You can change the way that you have been in the past. It just takes more work the older you get. The only person that can do it is you. You have to get really clear on what it is you don't like, what it is you don't want in your life. And then create the vision that you do want. And then move toward that motherfucker. Realize where you're gonna be if you don't change. Really see it, understand it. Take the time. Take the time to see it, to work it out in your mind, to see how bad it could be or how good it could be. And then it'll be obvious how much you need to shift, how often you need to work on shifting and changing. Again, we're working past years of time that we put towards a negative consequence. But here's the thing. The universe works towards what's least efforting, what takes the least amount of effort. Such as planets, gravitational pull, like all that kind of, we can get really deep with that kind of stuff. But my point is that make it so obvious to yourself that you need to change. And see it consistently every day. Make it obvious how much better things could be. And you will have no way to not shift and change who you are. But you got to be willing to put that work in and take the responsibility. You got to be willing to face the pain head on and go into it, smiling and cheesing, ready to go. Anyways, drop a like, drop a comment, let me know what you think. If you have any questions, let me know. I love you guys. Go have an amazing day. Let's get it.